you for joining in again today. I really appreciate it. Today we're going to be talking about employee deductions during COVID-19. If you find this information useful, please share it with somebody. Please subscribe to my videos. That way you get more information from me. And don't forget to hit the little bell too as well. So every time I bring out a new video, you will get notified too as well. Today we're going to be talking about if you are employed and what you can deduct, because COVID-19 has made it a little bit difficult to go back to the workplace. We've had to stay home and we've had to work over here. And what do we do at home? We end up using our electricity, we end up using our internet, we end up using a lot of resources at home. And why should the employer benefit from this? And why should the government benefit from this? So we should be able to allow the government to give us some sort of tax deduction during this time. Now there are really strict rules with the government and when you're working at home, because sometimes they don't see that point of view. Even if you're making video calls at home, they don't even consider that a meeting. So there is a form that you need to fill out. The form is called T2200. And I will post this just on the bottom, a link, so you can get that form. Now, when you fill out this form, you have to remember your employer actually has to agree to it. They have to sign this form. So therefore, you can deduct some of the expenses that you have at home. Now, you're not going to be able to deduct all your internet, but you can deduct part of it at least. And you can deduct some of your phone. But again, your employer has to agree to it. Now, there is a list that's available out there. This whole thing is derived from the income tax law. It's Section 8, subsection 2. And then there's also Section 8, subsection 1, which actually lists all of the criterias that you can use as a deduction. Now, having said that, there is also a government incentive that's put into place today. And what it allows the employer to do is allow you to have $500 worth of expenses. So in this case, you could actually buy a chair, a desk, where these were furnitures that were not allowed before. But again, not all employers are on board with this. So you have to check with your human resources department. But there is another one that's available too. And that's a $400 deduction. You don't have to have any receipts or any proof of any kind just to make sure that you're working at home. And if you're working at home, that's great. So you can take advantage of this. You can write it off up to $400 on your 2020 tax return. So this is an incentive that's brought up by the government just for COVID-19. And I'm hoping there would be more than just $400, because I know it's costing more than that for everyone to work at home. And employers should be taking that into account, and the government should be taking that into account, that it's costing us to work at home. Now, just remember, $400, you can write it off in your 2020 tax return. Look, if you found this information useful at all, I really appreciate your sharing it. Please subscribe. Subscribe button is just below. You can also tick off the little bell, and that'll tell you when I have my next release of my YouTube. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.